So I don't know what to do. I really am putting this out into the community. I don't want to be on here every day screaming about Scientology. I'm a single person. I'm 62 years old. I do believe that Scientology has been fair gaming me or had some part in fair gaming me since I was minimum of 10 years old. I think sooner than that, but my first memory of a Scientologist or anything to do with Scientology was the church group that showed up when I was halfway through Roland Park Elementary in Tampa, Florida. I have been getting sexually abused since then. I have a long history in Tampa, Florida of being abused. I was brought to Florida with my family, and there's a whole story that goes with all of this that's very important. I do have a Kennedy bloodline in this system of things. Some of the Kennedys might even be in Scientology. Now, why would relatives of mine be in an organization that's going after one of their own? When we all know that they're after the Kennedy bloodline, including those of us who are not at the top of it, but at the bottom, which would be me. I don't know why Scientology is in my life. I don't know how they got here. All I know is that my life very much coincides with LRH's arrival in Florida. And in 1986, I was in Minnesota, which was the year he supposedly died. In the year that he supposedly died, my life became a living hell. I don't believe the man died. I don't know what my connection is to all of this, but it seems like I have some sort of a connection that is military, like this gang stalking, this targeted justice. I'm starting to wonder if they're saying that they're targeting for justice rather than trying to get justice for the targeting. I'm still trying to figure that one out because I don't know how I asked the Veterans Administration for help in 2019, and I feel worse now and I look worse now than I did when I asked for help, and I still haven't gotten therapy since 2019. The closest I came to therapy was TMS therapy. And the one thing that was curious about TMS therapy is the fact that they didn't give me any therapy with the TMS, which is exactly what they were supposed to do. After each session on TMS, you're supposed to be able to go into a counseling and therapy session right afterwards for about 15 to 20 minutes. I never got a single one of those sessions in the entire 8 to 10 weeks I was there. Not one counseling session. Check-in sessions, yes. How you doing? Okay, get on the machine. See you later. Those, yes, lots of those. But actual checking, like actual therapy, no, I did not receive that there. And the curious problem is, before I went in the military, I could get therapy. So that automatically removes me from being CIA. So the curious part becomes when I joined the military and before the military, I was able to get therapy. I was able to get therapy in the military. So if I was being targeted and attacked in the military in High Wickham for not going to Biloxi, Mississippi. So I had an I got sent to, I got sent overseas for my first duty assignment. I stayed overseas as long as I could because in America I am abused. That's a statement of fact, and it's starting to look like by my own country, which is really making me sad and depressed. But before I went in the military, I could get therapy. I did not know that all of the events that happened to me, and there are many of them, were all connected to the same thing. I thought all the things that happened to me in Florida were a bunch of random things, and I was just this big piece of shit that nobody cared about. It wasn't until now, in this last 2 years, well, actually, not the last 2 years, it wasn't until just before leaving Utah where I started figuring out this looks like all this stuff is connected to the same exact group of people. And the only group of people that is different from everything else is the church group that showed up at 12 Oaks in Town and Country back in the 70s. Right after that group showed up, my life has been a living nightmare and a living hell. And my life was constantly filled with being drugged and being raped by grown men as a child, as a teenager, as an elementary school goer. All being run and facilitated through this 12 Oaks development. 2 houses over from me, I went over there one day. The girl's name was Lisa. I went over to Lisa's house one day, and when I walked over to Lisa's house, it was like a Sunday or something like that. The door opens, and there's her dad standing in his tighty-whities. No other clothes on, just his underwear, just his white underwear. He goes to sit in a recliner or something to watch TV or something while eating food. The 2 girls, the two older sisters suddenly walk by before we get to the kitchen. Both girls have something in their hand, like a bowl, like they're eating something or a plate or something. And they're both wearing white bra and white panties. One is walking to the kitchen, one is walking from the kitchen. We go, and I'm flabbergasted. I'm in shock. I have to pretend I'm not in shock. I didn't know what to do. I was frozen. A normal person would have ran out of the house. I didn't know what to do. I just pretended like it didn't just happen. And then we go into the kitchen, and the mom is fully clothed, cooking breakfast. That's weird. That's not normal. You go one house over. They used to take me to Canada, and interesting enough, a family from Canada moved in next door to us. The girl's name was Kathleen. She was supposed to end up with my brother or something. It didn't work out. I don't know what happened. They moved back to Canada. my, and I actually like those people, I think, but not if they were pedophiles, which seems to be the only thing living in 12 Oaks at the time. Then you go, and then from my house, you go, there's the house from Canada, and then next to the house from Canada, just before Lisa's house, is a teenage girl, supposedly, who is